This story isn't just about a military ceremony. It's about identity, resilience, and finding your worth in the shadows. It's about how a forgotten soldier walked into a hall where she wasn't invited and left as the most remembered name in the room. This is a story of dignity reclaimed, of silent strength finally seen. "You're not on the list." Those were the first words I heard from the young lieutenant as I stepped up to the check-in table at Fort Reynolds Hall. He glanced at my invitation, the blank kind, and gave me that forced smile people wear when they think you're in the wrong place. "This is a private event," he added. "For family and honored guests only." He wasn't impolite, just firm, routine. I looked over his shoulder, into the ornate hall glowing with chandeliers and polished brass. Through the crowd, I saw my sister, Talia, in full dress uniform, shaking hands, smiling for the generals. She belonged on that stage. Of course she did. I wasn't even listed. I almost walked away. I had promised myself I wouldn't make a scene. I was there only to fulfill a quiet vow whispered at my grandfather's grave 3 years ago. If she ever earns that pin, I'll be there. Even if no one wants me there, even if I have to watch from a corner. But just as I turned, I heard it. A commanding voice rang out like a drumline snapping into rhythm. "General Stanton." I paused, turned. A commander in full dress blues had stepped out from the corridor. He stood at attention. Then, with deliberate clarity and a salute crisp enough to still the room, he said, "Welcome, General Belle Stanton." Every head turned. Every whisper fell silent. For the first time in years, my name wasn't a secret dot. My family always revered the uniform, but only when worn on their terms. My father, a rigid and proud colonel, expected perfection from sunrise to lights out. My mother, poised and ever polished, clung to the title of officer's wife even after retirement, as if it were armor.
Talia? She was their golden child from the start.
She could do no wrong. Me. I was the quiet one, the one who asked too many questions. I didn't join the infantry or take the public command route. I entered military intelligence. Not glamorous, not visible. I lived behind security clearances and code names. When Kandahar happened and things went terribly wrong, I didn't speak out. 6 lives were lost. Someone had to take the fall. I accepted it without defense. My family treated it like a disgrace. From then on, I was erased, left off holiday invites. My mother pretended I was still deployed even when I lived 2 hours away. When my father died, my name wasn't in the funeral program. I wasn't even given a seat that night. Long after the funeral ended, I stood alone in the cemetery. That's when my grandfather appeared. Retired General Edward Stanton. He hadn't been part of the family narrative in years. But to me, he was never a ghost. "I've always watched you, Bree," he told me. "You did the hard work, the invisible work. That's what leadership really is." Then he handed me a note. It wasn't a will, it was a promise. "If your sister ever makes rank, go. Even if no one wants you there, go. One day, someone will speak your name with pride." I carried that note through 3 deployments, 2 promotions, and more long nights than I can count. I never showed it to anyone. Not when I made Brigadier General at 36. Not even when I received my 2nd star in a classified ceremony. Not even when the president shook my hand and said, "We need more like you." Because it was never about public praise. It was about being remembered at all. Asterisk Talia hadn't spoken to me in years. The last time she did, she said, "Your job embarrasses Mom. No one even knows what you do." Then she laughed like it was funny. It wasn't they wanted daughters who sparkled, not those who stood in shadows. When I saw the official posting on the base bulletin board about Talia's promotion ceremony, I paused. I didn't receive a personal invite. Of course not. But I remembered the note. So I circled the date. That morning I dressed in plain blues. No rank, no ribbons. My grandfather's watch hidden in my pocket. I parked blocks away and walked alone. The hall was buzzing. Brass music, camera crews, staffers everywhere dot at the check-in table, the same routine. Brielle Stanton, I said. Sister of LT, Colonel Talia Stanton, he frowned. Not on the list. I nodded. No protest. I looked in through the archway.
Talia.
Stood proudly with my mother hair perfect, curls shining. They looked like nothing was missing. I turned to leave. That's when a door opened. Footsteps. Then a voice. Not loud, but unmistakable. General Stanton. I turned. A 3-star general. Stood at attention. His salute sharp. Welcome, General Brielle Stanton, he said. The room froze. The young lieutenant at the table turned pale. I returned the salute. Thank you, Commander. He stepped forward. I've read your work. You changed the game. Your Black Ridge operation saved us months of damage control. It's an honor. He escorted me inside. Everyone parted. Conversations halted. Phones lowered. Even the flags outside felt still. Talia saw me. She stiffened. My mother blinked like she'd seen a ghost. We walked past rows of officers. The commander gestured to a seat front row, center. I wasn't assigned a seat, I said. You are now, he replied. I sat. Talia didn't move. Her eyes locked on me. And I knew, in that instant, the version of the world she'd been raised to believe had just come undone. Rephrased story, ending, the ceremony. Resumed. But the energy shifted. Like someone had let fresh air in after years of stale silence. Talia received her pin with perfect poise, but her eyes betrayed something. Afterward, she approached me in the courtyard. General, she said, that was unexpected. Likewise. She hesitated. Why didn't you ever say anything? No one asked. We thought you left. I was always here. Just not where you wanted me to be. She looked uncomfortable. Mom didn't invite you. She didn't think you'd come. She didn't ask. Talia's voice softened. You outrank me.
I have.
For a while, she sighed. Why now? Why show up? Because someone once believed I would be seen. I owed it to him. Her eyes caught the watch chain. She whispered, Grandpa. I nodded. We stood in silence. Not ready to reconcile, not needing to fight, just standing. Her hand moved slightly toward me. I didn't reach out. But I didn't move away. 3 days later, I was back at Joint Base Carson. Same halls, same desk, same inbox, but inside I was changed. For the first time in years, I didn't feel invisible. That night, I opened the wooden box I had kept hidden. Grandpa's note still inside. One line stood out. When they finally say your name, make sure you still recognize it. And I did, because I had learned something. Validation doesn't come from applause. It comes from knowing your worth in silence. From choosing to stand even alone. Forgiveness isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just letting go. Yesterday, a young lieutenant told me that was the first time I saw someone get honored without demanding it. I told him that's the only kind that lasts. That evening, I stood before the Intelligence Memorial Wall. I straightened a frame. Whispered a name few remember. Some legacies don't get headlines. They get remembered in the hearts of those who understand. And when someone now says, General Brielle Stanton, I don't flinch. I don't wonder if they mean someone else. I stand, because I am her. I always was. And now, finally, so is the world. Asterisk we learned today that you don't need applause to prove your worth. Sometimes strength is quiet. Sometimes the most powerful statement is simply showing up. What would you have done if you were in her place? Let us know in the comments.